Welcome students. Today we will be discussing a topic called AIDS and the chapter is same, human health and diseases. We are discussing a topic called AIDS today, but let me first of all tell you something which we forgot to discuss in our previous lecture. We will be talking about immune cells of the body, or you can say immunity system. Immunity system that will include certain cells in the body, tissues in the body, lymphoid organ in the body which is responsible for providing immunity to us. Now let us first of all discuss about lymphoid organ. Okay, let us first of all discuss about lymphoid organ. Now, we have primary two kinds of lymphoid organ in our body. One is called as primary lymphoid organ, and the other one is called as secondary lymphoid organ. So basically we have two kinds of lymphoid organ, primary lymphoid organ and secondary lymphoid organ. Okay, let us first of all talk about primary lymphoid organ. Primary lymphoid organs. Now the first and the most important primary lymphoid organ is called as bone marrow. Bone marrow. And the second most important lymphoid organ is called as thymus. So we will be talking about certain things in both bone marrow as well as thymus, and then we will be proceeding. See, bone marrow are present in the hollow part of the long bones. There you will find the bone marrow inside. And thymus is a type of organ present very near to the heart. In the newly born child, it is a big in size, but comparatively as the child grows and attains adolescence, it becomes shorter and shorter, smaller and smaller in size. The bone marrow is a place which is involved in production as well as maturation of lymphocytes, that is B lymphocyte. Here both the production, it is a place of production of B cells as well as the maturation of B cells. Now as you know, lymphocytes are of two kinds, B lymphocyte and T lymphocyte cell. So I am talking about B lymphocyte, which is responsible for production of antibody. Now T lymphocyte cell, it does not produce antibody, but it helps the B cell in production of antibodies. So in case of T lymphocytes, production of T lymphocytes takes place in the bone marrow. That is same as in case of B lymphocyte, but later on it migrates to thymus. So what happens is the T cell, though it is produced in the bone marrow, later on maturation occurs in thymus. Maturation of T cell occurs in thymus. That occurs in thymus. Okay. Now what happens in primary lymphoid organ? The lymphocyte cells, both T as well as B lymphocyte cells, they are trained to differentiate, mark my words, they are trained, trained, trained to differentiate between self cells and non-self cells, between self cells and non-self cells. So they are trained to differentiate between self cells, that is called as self cells, and non-self cells. That just means they are trained to differentiate between the self cell and again foreign cells. So they will automatically kill the foreign substance which has entered inside the body. They provide a kind of micro environment to the T and B lymphocytes, so they may be able to differentiate between self cell and non-self cell. Okay. Now let us talk about secondary lymphoid organ. So you can also say that in primary lymphoid organ, antigen sensitization takes place. Now what is the term meaning of antigen sensitization? See, in the earlier lecture I have already told you that in the pathogen the outer part can act as antigen. These are different antigen of a same pathogen. It consists of the outer part, that means polysaccharide along with some lipids and proteins also may be present. So these are antigenic parts. Antigen sensitization means ability to differentiate between self cell and non-self cell. That takes place in the primary lymphoid organ. After that, these T and B cells migrates to secondary lymphoid organs. Secondary lymphoid organs. Now let us discuss about secondary lymphoid organs. They can be of different types. For example, spleen is a secondary lymphoid organ. Nodes are secondary lymphoid organs. Then appendix is a secondary lymphoid organ. Then Pierce patches is again a secondary lymphoid organ. Then MALT, I will tell you something about MALT in the later part. Okay, these are the secondary lymphoid organ. So naturally, after getting antigen sensitization, the T and B cells migrate in the secondary lymphoid organ. Now what happens in the secondary lymphoid organ? In the secondary lymphoid organ, they first encounter with the pathogenic microorganism takes place. That is, the secondary lymphoid organ are the place where the naive T and B cells, naive, N-A-I-V, naive मतलब newly formed T and B cells पहली बार जब एनकाउंटर करता है हार्मफुल माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म के साथ, इसका मतलब हार्मफुल माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म जो हैं वो सेकेंडरी लिम्फोइड ऑर्गन में प्रेजेंट होते हैं, जो बॉडी के अंदर पहुंच जाते हैं, वो वहां पहुंचते हैं और उनका इनकाउंटर किसके साथ होता है, किसके साथ जाके मिलते हैं, जो नए नए टी और बी सेल्स बने हैं वो वहाँ पहुँचे होते हैं सेकेंडरी लिम्फोइड ऑर्गन में, और हार्मफुल माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म के साथ उनका आमना सामना होता है. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज फर्स्ट इनकाउंटर. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज it serves as a place for the T and B cells to first encounter with the harmful microorganism. Here T and B cells will start producing antibodies and automatically kill the invading microorganism. Now the spleen is a large bean-shaped structure. It is a large bean-shaped organ. It is present very near to the stomach. It is a storehouse of erythrocytes, RBC. It is also a blood filtering organ. It used to trap harmful blood microorganisms which enter inside it. So here T and B cells, they attack the harmful pathogens and kill them. So this is a place. Now let me tell you about nodes. Nodes are certain solid structures which are present in the lymphatic vessels. See, this is a blood capillary, blood flowing in the veins, artery and capillaries. And we have lymphatic, this is called a circulatory system, normal blood system. Now apart from that, we have some amount of blood oozes out from the capillaries to nearby cells. They are found in between the cells, and they perform the function of distribution of food, minerals and oxygen to nearby cells. So these fluid, which is a part of blood plasma, diffuses from the walls of the capillaries and they are found in between the cells. This fluid is a part of lymph, LYMPH. This is actually a part of lymph. This constitutes lymphatic vessels. Lymphatic vessels. This is a blood capillary. Here the blood is flowing, moving. Some amount of blood plasma diffuses here, and this is a part of lymphatic vessels. In the lymphatic vessels, certain small solid structures are present, and these are called as lymph nodes. Now the lymph nodes are distributed throughout the body at all the major parts of the body, and the function of lymph node is that it contains B and T lymphocytes, and if suppose any harmful microorganism are present very near to it, they will trap the harmful microorganism and they will ultimately phagocytose the harmful microorganism, killing the harmful microorganism. So it is actually a part of our defense system. Lymph nodes are very essential for immunity of our body. Okay. Now Pierce patches and appendix, they are present in the mucosal layer of the intestine, and they also help in trapping the microorganism which enter inside our body as such. Apart from that, we will be discussing about MART. The full form is mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. So mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. So we will be discussing about this first. MART, mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. also called as MALT, also called as MALT. This constitutes about 50% of all the lymphoid organs, all the lymphoid tissue. This is a place where the T and B cells are present in huge amount, and they will kill all the invading microorganisms which enter inside that particular part. It secretes mucus, and therefore it can easily trap the harmful microorganism, further killing it. Okay, so we have discussed about the important organs. Now let us now discuss about the main theme which we wanted to discuss. Sorry, this took a very long time since it is a huge topic. So therefore it has taken a very long time. Now let us discuss something about AIDS. It is just of 15 minutes. We can finish this topic now. The full form of AIDS is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Okay. Now this is caused due to, it is actually a syndrome, it is not a disease. It consists of several symptoms of disease, and that is the reason why we have written syndrome over there, because it is not a disease. It occurs due to deficiency of immunity in a person. So the main cause of this particular syndrome is HIV virus. That is, full form is human immunodeficiency virus. Human immunodeficiency virus. This is the full form of HIV. Okay. Now this virus is responsible for a condition of AIDS, AIDS. Now let me tell you the background of AIDS. In the last 25-30 years, it has killed millions of people around the globe, and it started in 1981, and today it has killed millions of people. According to NCRT, 25 million people have died because of HIV. Now let us talk about how it spreads actually, how the HIV spreads. It spreads due to certain things. For example, having multiple sex partners, that is through blood, that is through sex, body fluid, it spreads from person to person. Then using intravenous injections in case of drug abusers, then during blood transfusion. So, and one more thing, from mother to a child through placenta. So there are 4 things through which the HIV can be transferred. First one is through sex with the infected person. Second is through blood transfusions. Suppose accidental blood transfusion can happen sometimes if the safe blood is not available. Then third is by intravenous injections which the drug abusers use, and if someone is infected, he will be able to infect the other healthy person. Now the fourth one is by the mother who is already infected by this virus. She can spread this virus to the baby through placenta. So that is how the AIDS is, the HIV is spreading. Now, so naturally HIV cannot be spread by certain things such as shaking hands, kissing, sharing the same utensils for eating food, sharing a pen, sharing a towel, sharing clothes. It cannot be spread by such methods. Now let us look at how the HIV causes disease in a person. Let us talk about it. What is the method of causing disease? Now suppose this is a cell. This is a cell, macrophage. Macrophage is a kind of WBC and HIV is present. Let me tell you, HIV belongs to a group of viruses called as retroviruses. Retroviruses. And retroviruses are having a RNA genome. This is the RNA genome, and their outer part is made up of protein coat. And this is the RNA genome. This is the macrophage cells. This is the nucleus of macrophage cells where you can find DNA present inside it. Okay. Now, as you know, whenever the virus, any kind of virus infects the cells, the whole virus does not enter inside the cell. Only the genome enters inside the cell. So the genome here is made up of RNA, and RNA enters inside the cell. This is the RNA which has entered inside the macrophage cell. This is a macrophage cell. Macrophage. Okay. Now what will happen is, this RNA will be able to form a DNA by a process called as reverse transcription. See, let me tell you, maybe you are not aware with this thing. DNA strand can get converted into RNA strand by a process called as transcription. If the reverse happens, RNA being converted into DNA, this process will be called as what? Reverse transcription. So the viral RNA converts into viral DNA by the process of reverse transcription, because in the virus RNA produces a kind of enzyme called as reverse transcriptase. Reverse transcriptase. See, the RNA can very directly produce an enzyme, and you know enzymes are basically what? Protein. So here the RNA of the virus which has entered inside the macrophage, it was able to produce a kind of protein, or you can say enzyme, The name of the enzyme is called reverse transcriptase. Reverse transcriptase. The name of the enzyme was reverse transcriptase. Now this enzyme, after getting produced, it converted this RNA into DNA. This is DNA. It converted this RNA into what? DNA. That means viral RNA into viral DNA. And since the macrophage has a nucleus which contains DNA, this DNA gets integrated. Integrated means getting attached to. It gets attached with the DNA of the macrophage. The DNA of the macrophage nucleus, that is the nucleus containing which has the DNA. This viral DNA gets attached with the DNA of the macrophage cell inside the nucleus. Now, after getting integrated, जब ये वायरस का डीएनए इस मैक्रोफेज के न्यूक्लियस के डीएनए में इंटीग्रेट हो जाता है, जाके लग जाता है, अटैच हो जाता है, ये ऑर्डर करता है कि ये पूरा सेल जो है डिफरेंट तरह के वायरसेस अपने अंदर ही बनाए. दिस DNA now orders the cell, it takes control of the whole cell and now orders the cell to synthesize the viral protein coat as well as the DNA. That is, packaging of many types of HIV virus happens in the macrophage. Now this macrophage, now it has become as a factory of HIV virus, because the integrated DNA takes control of the whole cell, macrophage cell, and it is replicating, it is forming new viruses inside the macrophage. Now it has become a factory of what? HIV virus. Now what happens is, after some time, these viruses will get liberated, get released outside the macrophage, and they will now start infecting the TH cell. TH, that is T helper cells. Actually, T helper cells are involved in growth and development of all other type of WBC. So these HIV viruses, after they come out from the macrophage, they will enter the T helper cells and they will start decreasing their number, start destroying them, start killing them, and therefore the TH number in a person will start slowing down. It will become less. As the time passes by, the person's immune system will become weak, very weak. He will start developing fever, frequent fever, bouts, indigestion, problems related with breathing, many other kind of opportunistic parasites, which in normal healthy person, they don't usually cause disease, but in a person who is suffering from HIV, in those person it will be able to cause disease, because now the immunity of the person is very low. So many kind of disease, a person may suffer from many kind of disease, even tuberculosis, even a kind toxoplasma, or many other kind of disease he may suffer from. Since the parasites such as even toxoplasma is able to enter inside and cause diseases. Those parasites which normally do not cause disease, now the person will suffer from many kinds of disease. Now this will happen for the first symptom usually appears 5 to 10 years after the entry of the HIV virus, but it depends upon person to person. Now currently there is no cure of HIV. The person, after suffering from many kind of disease at the same time, he may die. Currently we do not have any vaccine or any other drugs in order to treat HIV or AIDS, but antiviral drugs have developed, antiretroviral drugs have developed, but they ensure only a small benefit, that they can prolong the life of a person, but in case of AIDS, the person will not survive. Surely he has to die. The only thing is that if he is taking antiretroviral drugs, he will survive for a longer period of time. That is the only thing. Okay. Now let us talk about, since we know that AIDS is such a dangerous disease, HIV is such a dangerous thing, therefore lot of NGOs and national National AIDS Control Organization is working to promote education among the people, so that the and many NGOs are working in order to promote education in the people, so that they may be, so in order to eradicate the AIDS, this disease as such. See, sometimes prevention is better than cure, and you know that since the AIDS do not have any particular drugs or vaccine, so we can only, precaution is the best cure in this case. And moreover, it is very essential to educate people regarding this disease, how this disease spreads, how to control this disease. Now WHO is also working in order to stop this disease as such, in order to stop the spread of this disease. So these NGOs and other government organizations, they are also distributing free condoms apart from educating people regarding this disease, to have safe sexual practices, then not to use syringes, used syringes in hospitals, in private hospitals as well as in government hospitals. Used syringes should be disposed of, so that the other person may not catch this disease. You know well that since this disease spread through body fluid, so naturally the syringe can be an infected syringe, and because of that another person can catch the disease. So educating the people, educating the harmful effects of having multiple partners, trying to curb the drug abusers, it is very important to even educate the drug abusers about the ill effects of sharing the syringes. These all things have been these things have been are already being done by NGOs and other departments in order to cure this disease, which is very important in AIDS as such, in order to cure AIDS as such. Thank you very much. I hope you like my topic. Have a nice day.